Victims' families commemorate the anniversary of a deadly Malaysian landslide. Welcome to VOA Asia Weekly. I'm Casquejo in Washington. That story's just ahead, but first making headlines. In China, a powerful earthquake killed at least 135 people and injured more than 1,000. Chinese state media reported. Many survivors faced freezing weather Wednesday as the rescuers dug through the rubble. The magnitude 6.2 earthquake on Monday in Gansu province is one of the deadliest since 2010, when the Yushu quake killed more than 2,600 people. Japan's Nippon Steel is acquiring U.S. steel in a $14.9 billion deal set to close in the second or third quarter of 2024. The acquisition will help Nippon Steel, the world's fourth largest steelmaker, reach 100 million metric tons of global crude steel capacity, and it will significantly expand its production in the United States. The U.S. flew a long-range bomber as part of joint drills with South Korea and Japan Wednesday in a show of force against North Korea after it launched an intercontinental ballistic missile on Monday morning. North Korea says it conducted the Hwasong-18 ICBM test in response to U.S. hostility, coinciding with Washington and allies South Korea and Japan initiating a real-time missile data sharing system. On Monday, Thai officials reported that 15 suspected drug smugglers were killed and approximately 2 million methamphetamine tablets were seized in northern Thailand near the Myanmar border after a shootout with Thai soldiers. The national security trial of Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai began Monday. Lai was arrested in August 2020 during the crackdown a year after the city's pro-democracy protests. Lai faces charges of sedition and colluding with foreign forces. He could face a life sentence if convicted. The judge was expected to issue a ruling by Friday on a bid by Lai's lawyers to throw out a sedition charge that has been used to target dissidents. The trial without a jury is expected to last about 80 days. 1 year after a landslide in Malaysia killed dozens of campers, victims' families and survivors came together to remember their loved ones. But as VOA's Dave Grunebaum reports, they say they won't have closure until they get all the facts about what led to the tragedy.
On the anniversary of a deadly disaster, victims' families and survivors return to the site to light candles and show traditional respects to their lost loved ones. Last year, on December 16th, an early morning landslide swept over an organic farming campsite in Batang Kali, Malaysia, killing 31 people. This photograph was taken just hours before Chin Soo King and her 5-year-old son Daniel were killed. Vincent Corway Fong pays tribute to his wife and son in their home.
Back then, it was hard for me to let go because I felt like I did not have the chance to finish our conversations and say goodbye to them.
Brian Teng's tent was about 5 feet from the path of the landslide. Teng says he's formed a connection with the families.
We find we have even though a bond together because we are, after the incidents, we want to help each other to come up from the sadness.
Victims' families and survivors say they're on a quest to find the underlying reasons behind this tragedy. The government released a report in October that says the landslide was triggered by slope failure after heavy rainfall. But the report does not explain why a farming campsite were able to operate in what experts call a risky area. The report also does not address an environmental impact assessment approved in 2013 by the Department of Environment that said the area where the farming campsite were located was not to be developed. VOA has been repeatedly sending messages with questions to several government offices, but has not received any answers. Victims' families and survivors have hired an attorney to investigate and prepare for potential lawsuits.
Our final goal is justice. Those who are responsible should face justice.
This will be the second consecutive year that Kaur won't be with his wife and son on Christmas. But he says his love for them inspires him to keep pushing for answers. Dave Grunebaum, VOA News, Klang, Malaysia.
Visit voanews.com for the most up-to-date stories. I'm Casquejo. And now, dozens of winter swimmers plunged into Beijing's icy lake on the coldest weekend of the season, with temperatures dropping to between -6 and 7 degrees Celsius during the day. Thanks for watching VOA Asia Weekly.